Hello, I'm Kiran Kapur from the Cambridge Marketing College. I'm at the Imperial War Museum at Duxford, which was the venue for the 10th Cambridge Digital Marketing Conference. And my guest this week is Dr Dave Chaffey of Smart Insights. And Dave, you better explain what Smart Insights does before we start.
Sure, yes, we're a digital marketing advice site, we help marketers navigate the maze of digital marketing. We advise them on how to create strategy, plans and do the optimization to get better leads and sales. So we provide templates that our members download. We give them a structure for creating those.
And you've been doing this
plans
for quite some time, haven't you?
Yes, that's right. It's actually based on my original work consulting and training with large businesses undergoing transformation programs because often they don't have the structure and the vision for digital transformation and creating a roadmap, and that's what we help our members do. We're a virtual consultant, if you like.
Okay, now you're going to talk about some of the main trends in digital, I know, when you do your talk later on. So can we have a look at that? I think you've done some research with your members recently.
That's right. There's always a lot of interest in what the latest trends are. It's one of the most common questions I get asked, and I think there's some really exciting changes happening at the moment. I think the biggest trend or most interesting trend is around marketing bots or chatbots people may have heard of. So this is where, rather than going to a search engine and typing a query, we're actually talking to a brand and we're getting queries answered for us. So this is often going to be facilitated by Facebook, for example, have got an application which Hyatt Hotels is using, that you can now talk to Facebook effectively and book a hotel through that arrangement. At a more practical level, in a business-to-business setting, at Smart Insights we use Slack for a collaboration within our team, and that's got some automation features. We can set reminders and keep in touch with everyone, and we're really enjoying that.
So an Autobot isn't necessarily something you have to speak to then?
No, it could be, they're known as chatbots because they'll often work in, through the text input is still popular, but we are seeing voice input becoming more important. If you look at visual voice search with Google, that's increasing.
There's something like Siri is the one I've heard of.
Yes, that's right. Apple have got Siri, and there's Microsoft Cortana, and Google have got their assistant that they've actually launched this year as well. But actually, as well as those interesting trends, I think it's important to get the fundamentals right in digital marketing. And the survey you mentioned there, I'm actually presenting it later in the year at Technology for Marketing, and we've been covering this for the last 2 or 3 years, and we find there's some core trends that people keep going back to, and the top 2 are actually content marketing and marketing automation. I think there's a lot of interest in those, and that's where most businesses see the biggest upside in digital marketing. Okay,
so let's start with the first one of those, which is content marketing. So is this literally just creating content? Is that something marketers have done for a long time?
That's right. It's often the case that people will say, well, what's really new here? And I think that's a fair comment. But really, with content marketing, it's a strategic approach to what we call always-on marketing. So it's about using content to drive the growth of a business. So you're making plans throughout the year for how you'll use content to appeal to different audiences. So one of the good things about content marketing for me is it's made marketers more focused on their audience, on their customers, rather than their products. So you create personas for your different types of audience. So for Smart Insights, we might have, say, a digital marketing manager would be one persona, a marketing director or a CMO might be another, an agency owner. And then you develop specific content for those different audiences, which will engage them and they'll get to know about you, rather than, and that will often be organic through rather than paid media. So traditionally, if you'd wanted to reach, say, a CMO, you might have had to advertise in a business magazine, perhaps do some direct mailing, direct contact. But with content marketing, for example, the way it works for us is that if you were searching for digital marketing strategy or planning, there's a fair chance you'd see Smart Insights, and that's thanks to our content marketing, where we've been writing a lot about these topics. And to give you an idea of the scale you can develop for that, we get around 1 million page views a month now, of which I think the latest figure is 84% are actually from Google organic. So we're not actually paying for those visits, and it works on a global basis. So although we're well known directly, if you like, by people in the UK, a bigger market is actually in the United States and New Zealand and Australia, and that's all thanks to our content marketing strategy, where I say just, but we work really hard to develop the very best content on that area.
So how do you develop the personas? Is it literally a question of talking to your audience, or do you decide what audience you want to have and create a persona around that?
Yes, that's right. There's traditional research is one of the best ways of doing this, really. So you can use surveys, focus groups, work well once you've identified the main clusters, perhaps from looking at the data that you've got available in your CRM system. But there's some, within Google Analytics, there's a lot of really useful features. I was working with one of our members recently, and we were looking at the split between male, female and younger against older audience, and you can now see that within Google Analytics, so you can validate your personas through the current website visitors as well.
Okay. And the other thing you said, you had content marketing, but you also said marketing automation. Now, I know as a marketer that makes me worry that a robot's going to take over my job, but It doesn't actually mean that, does it?
I think we're some way off marketers being replaced, despite all this talk of bots and automation. I think automation is a very powerful technique, because what it allows you to do is, through quite a small team of marketers, you can create really contextual communications, and particularly through email marketing, still works very well. A good example quite close to here is RS Components, based up in Corby, and they're an international e-commerce brand, but through their CRM team, they're able to tailor their emails with quite a small team to, getting on for 100 plus countries around the world, so that relevance should be the mantra, and they can look at where people are in the life cycle, the type of products they're interested in, what their roles are, and really give a personalised email. So that's the theory, and a company like RS is delivering on that in practice. But when you say, marketers, are they going to be out of a job? I think marketers, their role is actually to set up the rules, understand the audience, and create the communication strategy. And while these marketing automation tools may have neat ways of dragging and dropping the sort of sequence of emails that go out, or the landing pages, you really need a lot of human intelligence to say what's going, and creativity to see what's going to resonate with the audience. And in fact, I think a lot of marketers, they're not really taking advantage of the features of automation, and they're just using these quite expensive systems to push out the same message to everyone. So I think we're quite a long way off the promise being fulfilled, if you like.
You've no idea how reassuring that is as a marketer. So you've talked about strategy and planning several times, and I know one of the things you're concerned about is that actually people tend to go, I need to bolt on some digital.
That's right. There's a very tactical approach with digital marketing, I think. There's a great cartoon with the Marketoonist, where there's a board discussing digital strategy, and there was it's a tick box. Okay, we've got the company Facebook page. We've got that sorted. There was a couple of years ago, you could see this mindset in, it wasn't EasyJet, I think they've got a sound strategy, and Ryanair have now, but a couple of years ago they were saying, we're going to develop a Twitter page for our customer service. That's our digital strategy. So often people think about those individual channels rather than the overall picture, and I think it's quite shocking, really, when we ask people in our research how many businesses have a digital marketing strategy or plan, it's shockingly low. It's around 50% we find who don't have. They're doing digital marketing, but they don't have a strategy or plan.
Is that because they've got the personas wrong? So they start with, I can't, the number of times I go out and I'm told, I'm asked by a company, should I be on Twitter?
Yes, that's right. People think in terms of tools and tactics, whereas they really should be thinking in terms of traditional marketing, strategic marketing approaches. So who are our audiences? What strategies can we deliver which will align with our business strategies? I think that's the problem. If you're tactical, you've got digital operating in a separate silo and it doesn't support the business. So I think the importance of having a strategy is, as with any business strategy, you've got a very clear vision and targets of what you want to achieve through digital channels. You can go way back to EasyJet when they first launched their online channel. Their founder, Stelios at the time, he said, we want 50% of our sales online. And this was when no one else was doing that. So he'd had that vision and he'd given a very clear, big, hairy, audacious goal, they're sometimes called. And then he resourced that and put the strategy in place to deliver. So it's scary, really, that a lot of companies don't have that.
Great. Dave Chaffey with Smart Insights, thank you very much indeed.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for the questions.